Sarah had led her team for 6 years. They trusted her, they followed her, they delivered results. Then David arrived. Within 3 months, 12 people walked out the door. 3 major projects collapsed. And David, he learned a lesson he'd never forget. This is that story. Welcome to workplace nightmares where toxic bosses get what they deserve. Today's story is about micromanagement. Not the annoying kind where your boss checks in too often. The suffocating kind. The kind that destroys teams, kills morale, and ultimately backfires spectacularly. All names and identifying details have been changed for privacy. But the story? Completely real. Let's dive in. Meet Sarah. 8 years ago, she joined TechVantage, a mid-sized software company specializing in cloud infrastructure. She started as a senior developer, smart, reliable, and more importantly, someone people wanted to work with. By year 3, she was promoted to team lead. She managed 12 developers across 3 major client projects. Her team wasn't just productive, they were loyal, low turnover, high performance, the kind of team that makes a manager look good. Sarah's leadership style was simple: trust your people, give them autonomy, support when needed, and get out of their way. It worked. For 6 years, her team consistently delivered ahead of schedule. Upper management loved her, her team loved her, clients loved her. Everything was perfect. Then, 6 months ago, the company announced a restructuring. Nothing major, they said, just streamlining operations. Sarah's boss, the director of engineering, decided to retire early. Nice guy, hands off, trusted his team leads completely. The replacement was David. David came from a massive tech corporation, think Silicon Valley, venture capital funded, growth at all costs. He had an impressive resume, 15 years of experience, multiple successful projects. On paper, he looked perfect. In reality, he was a nightmare waiting to happen. David's first week was fine, standard, getting to know everyone meetings. He smiled a lot, said all the right things about collaboration and empowerment. Sarah's team was cautiously optimistic. Week 2, things started changing. David wanted status updates, not weekly, daily. Every single developer had to send him a detailed breakdown of what they did that day. Not to Sarah, to him, directly. Sarah thought it was temporary. New boss, wants to understand the workflow, give it time. But it didn't stop. Week 3, David started attending every single team meeting. Not just attending, controlling. He'd interrupt Sarah mid-sentence to clarify things. He'd question every technical decision. He'd second-guess every timeline estimate. Sarah tried to address it professionally. She scheduled a one-on-one with David. "I appreciate you wanting to be involved," she said carefully, "but my team is feeling a bit overwhelmed with the daily reports. They're spending 2 hours a day on documentation instead of actual work." David smiled. That corporate smile, friendly, but cold. "Sarah, I need visibility. In my last company, we had real-time tracking on everything. This is actually pretty minimal compared to what I'm used to. Your team will adapt." It wasn't a discussion, it was a dismissal. Sarah walked out of that meeting with a sinking feeling in her stomach. She had no idea how much worse it was about to get. The breaking point came during a client presentation. One of Sarah's senior developers, Marcus, was presenting a technical solution to their biggest client. Marcus had worked on this for 3 months. He knew the system inside and out. Sarah had reviewed everything. It was solid. The presentation was going well. The client was nodding, asking good questions. Then David did something unforgivable. He interrupted Marcus mid-sentence. "Actually, let me jump in here," David said, standing up. "Marcus, why don't you sit down? I'll take it from here." The room went silent. Marcus, confused and humiliated, sat down. Sarah's jaw clenched, but she stayed quiet. This was a client meeting. David proceeded to explain Marcus's own work back to him. Incorrectly, he misunderstood a core technical concept and pitched a solution that wouldn't actually work. The client looked confused. Sarah could see them losing confidence in real time. After the meeting, the client pulled Sarah aside privately. Is everything okay with your team? That was unusual. Sarah had to do damage control. She scheduled a follow-up, fixed David's mistakes, and somehow saved the account. Barely. But the damage was done. That night, Marcus sent Sarah a message. I can't work like this anymore. I'm updating my resume. Sarah's heart sank. Marcus was one of her best. Losing him would hurt. But she didn't realize Marcus wouldn't be the only one. Over the next 2 weeks, David's micromanagement became suffocating. He started demanding access to everyone's calendars. Every meeting had to be approved by him. Every code commit had to be reviewed by him personally, even though he barely understood the codebase. He'd send messages at PM asking for updates. On weekends, on holidays, he started scheduling quick check-ins that lasted 2 hours. Developers were spending more time in meetings than actually coding. Deadlines started slipping, not because the team was less capable, but because they literally couldn't get work done between all of David's interruptions. And when deadlines slipped, David blamed the team publicly. In one particularly brutal meeting, David said, I don't know how things were run before, but this level of performance is unacceptable. Maybe some of you aren't cut out for this anymore. Sarah watched her team's faces. She saw anger, frustration, and something else, resignation. That's when she knew she was going to lose them. Sarah tried one more time. She went to hour. She documented everything: the public humiliation, the after-hours demands, the micromanagement that was destroying productivity. HR's response? David's management style might be different, but he's not technically violating any policies. Try to work it out. Sarah realized the company wasn't going to help. She had a choice to make: stay and watch her team suffer, or do something about it. She chose option 3. Sarah didn't tell her team what to do. She didn't have to. Instead, she had individual conversations with each of them. Honest conversations. I know this is unsustainable, she said. I want you to know whatever you decide to do, I support you. If you need to leave, I'll be your reference. If you want to stay and fight, I'm with you. But I won't let David destroy what we built. One by one, her team members came to the same conclusion. They were done. But here's where it gets interesting. They didn't just quit. They coordinated. Marcus went first. Monday morning, he walked into David's office and handed him a resignation letter. 2 weeks notice. David barely looked up. Fine, we'll replace you. Tuesday, 2 more developers quit. David started to look concerned. Wednesday, 3 more. By Thursday, David was panicking. He called an emergency meeting with Sarah. What's going on? Why is everyone leaving? Sarah looked him straight in the eye. You're what's going on, David. You've made their lives miserable. They're not leaving the company. They're leaving you. David's face went red. That's insubordination. I could have you. Have me what? Fired? Go ahead. I was planning to quit anyway. She slid her own resignation letter across the desk, effective immediately, and she walked out. By Friday, 11 of the 12 team members had quit. Only one junior developer stayed, and only because he was on a visa and couldn't risk unemployment. David was left with the skeleton crew and 3 major active projects. Upper management, who had been blissfully unaware, suddenly took notice. Within 2 weeks, All 3 projects were in crisis. Client A, the one from the disastrous presentation, terminated their contract. They explicitly cited lack of confidence in current leadership. Client B demanded their money back after missing 2 consecutive deadlines. Client C, well, they found out Sarah had joined a competitor, and they followed her there. TechVantage lost approximately $4.2 million in revenue. 3 projects, 12 employees who'd need to be replaced and retrained, and a reputation hit that would take years to recover from. The CEO finally got involved. He wanted answers. David tried to spin it. They were underperformers. I was trying to raise standards. But here's what David didn't know. Sarah had documented everything. Every unreasonable demand. Every public humiliation. Every late-night message. Every micromanaged decision. And when the CEO asked former team members for exit interviews, they all told the same story. David was fired 3 months after Sarah left. The official reason? Restructuring. Everyone knew the real reason. Today, Sarah works at that competitor company. She brought most of her old team with her. They're thriving. Better pay, better culture, and most importantly, better leadership. TechVantage eventually recovered, but it took them over a year. They hired a new director of engineering, someone with a very different management philosophy. Someone who actually trusts their teams. David? Last anyone heard, he's still looking for work. Turns out, word travels fast in the tech industry, especially when 12 people leave in 1 week. Sarah doesn't regret leaving. In fact, she says it was the best decision she ever made. Because sometimes, the only way to fight a toxic boss isn't to change them. It's to leave and take everything valuable with you. So here's my question for you. Would you have stayed and tried to fight? Or would you have walked away like Sarah? And if you were in David's position, would you have seen it coming? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button. We bring you real workplace nightmares every single day. Because sometimes, the best revenge is simply leaving. See you in the next one.